folks, it is party time, Mom. Welcome to another episode of the Chad Prather Show. Off the rails Thursday night. It's just me and you and Chris and Mark and apparently the aliens. I mean, we're not supposed to call them that. The extraterrestrials that are listening in. The ETs. Demi Lovato told us not to call them aliens because it hurts their poor little fifis. We're going to get into a lot of stuff. Tomorrow night, Friday night, going to be in Waco at the Hippodrome. I don't know. Good God. I told you yesterday that was a crazy, crazy thing. We thought we were canceling the show. Now the show's back on. So we're going to be there. WatchChad.com is where all the fun stuff is. Got all the information you need. Come hang out with us. It's actually homecoming weekend for Baylor. So should be a big weekend in Waco. That sounds good. It kind of rolls off the tongue. Have a big weekend in Waco. They're going to be in Tomball, Texas for a concert in the country, benefiting Boots for Troops and all the veterans out there. That great organization, going to be down there with 4,000 of our closest friends. And next week, going to be at the Rusty Bucket doing a campaign event. You can find more information at prather2022.com or go to beto22.com. Did you see the other day, guys, on Twitter that Beto said, if you want to come at me with politics, you want to F with me in politics, come on. I'll take you on. And I retweeted. I was like, please, yes, I'd love to. And they deleted the video. He deleted his little tough talking video. Apparently that didn't go over very well. What do we want to talk about? You know what? Before we get into anything, let me remind you, you can get your FJB shirts. I've been wearing it all this week. We should auction this one off for charity. You know what I'm saying? We should auction. We just need to figure out how to auction it. Like, yes. What would be an avenue to do that?
And that means charity down the corner, right? Like that charity.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
Down at Babes.
Yes.
Or Baby Dolls or whatever you want to call it. Here's a message. I posted my shirt, I Miss Mean Tweets, one of my T-shirts at watchchad.com. And I posted a picture of myself yesterday where I was wearing the shirt. And this guy, he said, this is what he said. He's from Ingleside, Texas. That's all I'll tell you. He said, nah, bro, I miss when people didn't accept that Mean Tweets was the best this country could do for a leader. Grow up. Do you honestly believe that Mean Tweets is the best way to lead people? Shouldn't you expect more from a person? Is childish behavior the absolute best thing? Accepting less when we all know this country is capable of much better leadership. I don't miss Mean Tweets. I miss people not accepting that Mean Tweets were the best we had to offer. It's sad, really, when you consider a leader. It's sad for this country what a lot of you consider leadership at all. You will never respond to this, but I wish you would. I have one simple question for everyone who reads this. What makes a leader? What makes great leadership? And why do you so firmly believe that Mean Tweets is the best way to show that leadership? Well, brother, you're holding on a little too tight, first of all. Emotionally, mentally, everything, you're holding on a little too tight. You see, when you're that delicate and worried about getting your feelings hurt by blunt truth in the form of a tweet, that you'd support a corrupt guy like Joe Biden, who hasn't done anything to help our country, and not to mention the fact left Americans behind in Afghanistan. He slaughtered citizens in that drone strike or whatever the other day, and nobody wants to talk about that. And when you have folks like that are out there doing that, you can't really defend them as being any better of an option, right? The point is, we miss Mean Tweets because that was one little thing that we had to put up with in the midst of a whole lot of great things that were happening in our country versus this massive chaotic nonsense that we call the Biden administration. So when I say I miss Mean Tweets, like I was willing to put up with that little nuance of a Donald Trump presidency to be respected on the global stage, to know that our economy was doing pretty good, that we could still go to the store and get stuff, and don't forget, we were respected in a big, big way. But no, you didn't like the Orange Man. Well, the Orange Man's gone, and now you're left with the senile, addle-brained guy whose son is not only that, but he's laundering money through his quote-unquote art.
I'm sorry, but what facts do you have to support that?
That he's, what do I have?
Yes, what do you have facts on that he is laundering money? Because last time I checked, all his art is priceless.
Well, here's the thing. One, the easiest way to launder money on the planet is through art. Anybody would tell you that, that knows anything about the world of art. And I have my suspicions that he's even painting any of that crap, personally. But I've known people over the years who had meth addictions and things like that, and they sit there and just paint their walls all night long because they had to have something to do. Maybe that's what he's doing. But I think his history kind of proves the fact that that's what's going on. Do I have the facts that he's laundering money? No, but I think my assumption is safe at this point. Anyway, we'll talk about more things. Since 1993, Taser products have been saving literally hundreds of thousands of lives. Now, I'm a big fan of the Second Amendment, but it's good to know that you can have some extra protection for your family. Take the Taser Pulse Plus. It can shoot up to 15 feet away. It can lock up an attacker's muscles for up to 30 seconds, giving you and your family time to get away. And since it's paired with your phone, it alerts emergency dispatchers with your GPS location as soon as you fire it. Only weighs about 8 ounces, so it's convenient for you to carry just about anywhere. And you put it in your hip, put it in your bag, put it in your glove box. You can carry it safely. Taser Pulse Plus, you can take it anywhere you want to go. Self-defense doesn't always have to have a kill or be killed outcome, folks. Get Taser Pulse Plus today. Save 15% at taser.com, taser.com. Use promo code CHAD. I spell it Chad. taser.com. Use promo code Chad. Supplies are limited and restrictions apply. You can see the site for details. Taser.com. Promo code Chad. I know, just a second ago, Chris, before we came back for the break, I know we were talking about going one way. We didn't talk about the Southwest Airlines very much last night. I just want to say that. Can we, you got that clip of the Southwest CEO talking about the mandate. Can we play that right quick? Play it.
Talking about the vaccine mandate, oh yeah, I mean, there are some that have very strong views on both sides of that issue. And, it's not, as I think you probably know, I've never been in favor of corporations imposing that kind of a mandate. I'm not in favor of that, never have been. But the executive order from President Biden mandates that all federal employees and then all federal contractors, which covers all the major airlines, have to have a mandate, a vaccine in place by December the 8th. So we're working through that. We're urging all of our employees to get vaccinated. If they can't, we're urging them to seek an accommodation, either for medical or religious reasons. But my goal, obviously, is that no one loses their job.
What a mess. You remember when Kamala Harris came out over a year ago and she said, I will not take this Trump vaccine. If Trump pushes it, I would not, and then Cuomo came out and was like, I'm not going to do this. It's not going to be big, long quotes about this stuff. And then Biden, who said, I'll trust the science, but I'm not going to trust Trump. All right, so from the time they said that, let's say from the summer of 19, or no, let's say 20. Say from the summer of 2020, I'm a year off, to when Biden took office in January. Let's say a 6-month stretch, 7-month stretch. How many people listened to their advice and said they would not get a vaccine? Biden's advice, Kamala Harris's advice, Cuomo's advice. These are Democrats, liberals, leftists. How many people died with COVID because they listened to the advice of people on the left? At what point in time are we going to hold them accountable? It'd say, okay, Joe Biden said he wasn't going to get it. He was going to trust the science, not Trump. And Trump was saying, okay, Operation Warp Speed, we're going to get this thing out there. Well, I'm not going to trust Trump. Kamala Harris, who's insinuating she's not going to trust a Trump vaccine. Cuomo, who said, no, I don't trust it. I don't believe in it. How many times did Nancy Pelosi come out? And there is proof. I mean, there's video of it. I mean, right there, who said, no, we can never mandate this. So many different people, so many different, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, all of them said, we can never mandate this. We can never do it. Now you see that these guys like this CEO from Southwest, I mean, they're between a rock and a hard place, right? They're not supporting it. And by the way, Joe Biden can't mandate that. That's a press release. He's telling the press what to parrot to the public. And so what you have these airlines who have to conform to the OSHA standards. And it's OSHA, which is a federal agency. they have to make sure that everything is in place because OSHA can make life real hard on them. And once these airlines get behind, let me tell you, it is hard. You saw the little byline, the lower third there on that clip. It is hard for them to catch back up. So we're putting a dent in a lot of these things that are these, But hey, at the end of the day, people keep coming at me and they're like, "You're anti-vaccine." No, I'm a 100% pro. I don't give a shit what you do. I don't care what you do. But until you start mandating and telling me what I have to do, this is what's stupid.
And Chad, to go to your point, we have another shot here where Pelosi's lecturing reporters that they're not selling the Build Back Better.
Play that thing.
Our latest CBS News poll shows that only about 10% of Americans describe themselves as knowing a lot of specific things that are in the reconciliation package, and that the majority don't know anything at all. So do you think you need to do a better job at messaging, and going forward, how do you sell this if ultimately you have to?
Well, I think you all could do a better job of selling it, to be very frank with you, because every time I come here, I go through the list. Family and medical leave, climate, the issues that are in there. But it is true. It is hard to break through when you have such a comprehensive package.
That's right, media. Why aren't you parroting our talking points better? Why aren't you doing a better job? Why aren't you saying what we're telling you to say? Don't put it on us, the elected representatives, the people who are the leaders of the free world, so to speak. We need the media to tell our story even better. Whoo, boy, howdy. This is why I wrote a book called Am I Crazy? I did. I wrote a book. It's out. Just came out. Nobody's bought it yet. You can actually go to watchchad.com. It's where all the fun stuff is, and it's got links to Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, Amazon. We are on the bestseller list on numerous categories. Need to sell a few more books this week. If we could do that, who knows? Might be on like one of those big ones, like the New York Times bestseller list. But again, whatever.
Now, can I order more than 10 books?
You can order a bunch.
Oh, I can.
You can actually order, I think on like Barnes & Noble, I want to say you can do like bulk 30. They might not even want me telling you this information. Promo code like bulk 30.
Could I order a lot of them and like hand them out on Halloween? Mm-hmm. As candy and
but I don't know if you know this or not, but Halloween is canceled.
What do you mean Halloween is canceled?
Well, there's an elementary school, Seattle, Washington. Am I crazy? Or is Seattle crazy? Elementary school cancels Halloween because students of color, specifically African-American males, don't celebrate it. I like when the headline says students of color, and they actually had to qualify African-Americans, like we were questioning who you were talking about. Well, you knew where you were going. Because let's face it, if it were Hispanic kids, they wouldn't have given a shit, right? They'd have been like, suck it up, Juan. Seattle Elementary School has canceled Halloween. Wow. Because the district said students of color, specifically African-American males, don't celebrate it. That is reported by conservative radio host Jason Rants, KTTH AM. He said that Benjamin Franklin Day Elementary historically has celebrated Halloween with activities such as a pumpkin parade. No, you don't say an elementary school has historically celebrated Halloween, but they're not going to do it. They sent out a newsletter and said, as a school with foundational beliefs around equity for our students and families, we're moving away from our traditional pumpkin parade, even event and requesting that students do not come to school in costumes. Wow. They don't want to exclude any black kids for their beliefs, their financial status, or their life experience. So in other words, they can't afford the little Casper cost.
And by the way, if this
we don't want any black kids in whiteface, is what I'm saying. All right.
If this is going to be the new standard, where because the student of color, especially the African American males, don't want to participate or celebrate, is that going to be the new standard?
That is. So, like, if you it should be the standard across the board. Okay. Like, if I can't afford to do something, like, let's say I can't go to the NBA game, which is predominantly black. Okay. I can't afford the tickets because they're like $200 a ticket. NBA is the highest ticketed game in pro sports. I can't afford that. So you know what? Nobody gets to go to the NBA game. If everybody doesn't get to do it, then nobody gets to do it. That's the way it's going to go. I mean, at what point in time did we just say, hey, you know what, suck it up? Like there's some things you don't get to do in life. Like, hey, we can't afford Christmas. What was the old Bill Cosby thing when he said, what did you get for Christmas? I got an orange. I mean, that's classic, right? Because let me just tell you something. There is worse things in the world than being poor. There's worse things than going through economic hardship. There's really worse things. I appreciate folks who are hard scrabbled who have come up. What was the Will Smith movie, where he was the dad? It's a true story. Happiness. Like, what a great story. Like, here's a dude that's sleeping in bathroom stalls in the subway with his kid, and then he's a smart guy. But I guarantee you that guy, with all they went through, which is a true story, again, I bet he wouldn't trade those experiences for where it got him. And those are the kind of things, like, there's worse things. But again, we got to make sure everything's equal. Make sure the government steps in. Make sure the school board steps in. The principals, all these little tyrants, these little dictators come in and make sure everything is, Chad, got to have a racial equity team.
The more I work for you, the more that your stupid little quote about hard times and men, it's true. Like,
it's true.
While we
create weakness.
It's
good
just
times
sad.
Create weak men. Weak men create hard times. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. It's just a never-ending cycle. That's the way it goes. And so I'm sorry to those of you at Benjamin Franklin Day Elementary. No Halloween for you. But Christmas is coming. You can still get an Am I Crazy book if the USPS will get it to you.
Are we going to cancel that?
Well, Fauci wants to. He said, I don't think we can get together for Christmas. I'm going to throw a Christmas party.
We should.
I'm going to. You guys are invited. Bring your families. We're going to throw a big party. Where it's going to be a socially non-distancing party.
Nice.
We're going to get together. We're going to breathe on each other. We're going to spit in each other's mouths. We're going to French kiss. Demi Lovato can bring all of her personalities.
They
can come.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Oh my gosh, this is insanity that's going on in the world today. I felt like George Costanza right there. It's crazy, Jerry. Hospital pulls the plug on life-saving kidney transplant because donor isn't vaccinated. We talked about this earlier in the week. The policy went into effect just days before the surgery. I mean, it's not easy to get a kidney donor or something like that matches, right? Cleveland, they were going to do it life-saving, but they put in the new COVID-19 vaccination for donors and recipients. In case meant that the recipient had to be fully vaccinated, but the donor is unvaccinated. God forbid you get a pure blood kidney there. It's made us feel like we're back to square one. Well, you are back to square one. So now you got to find somebody that's fully vaccinated. It's got a kidney that matches. I mean, it's just almost a death sentence in that regard.
And Chad, I'm thinking here, there's a T-shirt somewhere there, pure blood, something there.
I'm way ahead of you, baby.
Oh, you are? Oh, yeah. That is so good.
Oh, yeah, I'm way ahead of you there.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, these people go through, and you've known people with kidney transplants. I got a lot of friends out there that have been donors and have been recipients, and it's hard to find that. And, you get that message that says, we got a match, and you celebrate, your family celebrates, and then you get this kind of stuff. This is what I'm talking about, folks. At what point in time are we going to hold this administration accountable for this nonsense? We didn't do this, man. We didn't. Somebody came at me the other day on Twitter, and they're like, well, you didn't complain about polio and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, because those are actual vaccines. They're not experimental drugs. They're testing on you. I mean, like, look, they're humanizing mice now. I don't know if you know this or not, but they're basically putting a genetic mutation of mice together that have lungs that kind of they impersonate or they imitate human lungs. And so they're doing these studies on these humanized mice, which sounds like a horror movie waiting to happen. But they're still experimenting on this stuff. Oh, and by the way, earlier this week I said publicly, there's going to be a pill. Or last week I said there's going to be a pill. That's why they're pushing the shots. because there's going to be a pill coming, and they got to get all the money they can get out of the blah blahs and the booster blah blahs, because there's going to be a pill that's coming. And lo and behold, this week they announced there's a pill. There's a pill. Now, you mark my words right now. The problem is going to be with the pill. Here's where the pushback on the pill is going to be. It's going to cause birth certificates. It's going to cause birth defects, and it's going to cause cancer, and it's going to be so expensive that only a few people can get it. It's not going to be practical. But just mark my words. That's what's coming next, because I can read the tea leaves in the bottom of my cowboy hat, and I can tell the future. That's what's going to happen when it comes to this so-called pill.
And by the way, have you seen the color of the pill?
I haven't seen the pill at all.
You haven't seen the pill?
No.
It's red.
Is it really? You getting red pilled? God, I love my life. Woo-wee! Just get to sit here and prognosticate day in and day out. And I love you guys. I really do. Hey, the Social Security Administration's computer servers are 45 years old. They're almost as old as I am. Computer servers at Health and Human Services are 50 years old. Maybe that's how cyber criminals hacked U.S. Census Bureau's computers, where everything about you is stored. The threat of some cyber thief stealing your credit card isn't your biggest risk anymore. Your massive risk is that he takes over ownership of your home. It's called home title theft, and FBI calls it one of the fastest growing crimes. Cyber criminals hack into vulnerable government, bank, or mortgage company servers where copies of your home's title is stored, forges your signature stating you sold your home to him, then borrows on your home and its equity and leaves you in debt. Now, you're not going to know about that until collection notices show up. Protect your most valuable asset. Go to HometitleLock.com, register your address, and see if you're already a victim. Then use promo code RADIO. They'll give you 30 free days of protection. Again, HometitleLock.com. Use promo code RADIO. HometitleLock.com. We'll be right back. I really am encouraging people, folks. I think it's a common sense guide. Get the book, Am I Crazy? During the break, I always check my phone. I look at things. Stuff's coming at me, messages nonstop. And every now and then I will make the mistake of just jumping over onto Twitter, and I will look at stuff that comes in over there. It's insane. I want to talk about this for a minute. The hypocrisy is real, folks. It's tangible. And I want to ask you a question. Wouldn't it be amazing if one day Twitter just canceled itself? All the weird inconsistencies and circular logic just sort of coalesced into a nascent superintelligence, but one which sees itself in society's mirror and takes itself out before it can do any more damage. I mean, a man can dream, right? Twitter stated recently that it's working on a way to be able to tell you in advance whether or not a conversation you're about to join might become heated. Now, look, I can save them millions in research and development right now. Yes! It's as simple as that. It's going to become heated because you can't go on Twitter and say anything without it turning into a thing for someone out there. If you don't believe me, listen, if you got any kind of following at all, I want you to go on Twitter. I want you to try this. Say something about how you like your eggs in the morning and just like really be passionate about those eggs. And you let us know where that goes in the next 5 minutes. The attack from some kind of vegan or how you're horrible for liking your eggs over medium. As a society, folks, we have banded together our few remaining brain cells and decided that the toilet really is the best place for us. It's like a ride every time someone flushes, folks. And the sad truth is that a majority of us probably exist in that space, not despite the brain-free Jerry Springer fest that most conversations seem to turn into, but because of it. Don't be shy. We all know who your cousin's baby daddy is, folks. Listen, the leftist ideology grips at us mindlessly at times, but never aimlessly. The search to eradicate your free thought, because make no mistake, it's your thoughts they're after. And when all is said and done, that goes on, and it claims whatever victims it claims in the meantime. So I tell you what, Twitter, when you give back your leftist cancel culture participation trophy, which you ironically actually did earn, and decide to level the playing field, we'll talk. How about you get rid of the Ayatollah Khomeini, Al Sharpton, and whoever is in charge of toilet tweeting / wiping Joe Biden's butt after he makes poo-poo, or as I like to call it, corn pop. And then come talk to me about how you want to advise me what a conversation and which conversation might get heated. Give me a damn break. Let's have conversations. Throw Twitter in the microwave, folks. See what kind of heated mess comes out on the other side of the timer. Folks, I'm so sick of big tech telling me what my opinion can be and telling me how I could feel on a topic. This is insanity here. Insanity. Boy, more good stuff coming out of California. Gavin Newsom. It's so funny when you read these articles and they put a D by his name. Like, again, that's like trying to qualify that African Americans are the ones who have issues with this. Or Gavin Newsom, Democrat. No joke. He signed legislation that makes California the first state to mandate gender-neutral toy aisles for large retailers. Here we go. California Assembly Bill 1084. Retailers with more than 500 employees and requires that some toys and child care products. This is real legislation. This is stuff that matters here. They got to be sold in areas not specified by gender. It does not ban toy aisles for boys and girls. Okay. So you can still have keeping similar items that are traditionally marketed either for girls or for boys separated makes it more difficult for the consumer to compare the products and incorrectly implies that their use by one gender is inappropriate. That's what the text of the legislation reads. The law will take effect in 2024. I mean, why not just do it now? Let's stay woke. If you're a boy, if you're more artistic and want to play with glitter, why not? Why should you feel the stigma of saying, oh, this should be shamed and going to a different location? At what point in time, like that was a California assemblyman who's a Democrat, of course, Evan Lowe. What makes you think gay boys necessarily want to play glitter or be more artistic? That's a strong assumption you just make there, asshole. I mean, maybe gay boys still want to play with G.I. Joe. Maybe gay boys want to shoot some shit. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that, I mean, like you just stereotyped gay little boys.
And by the way,
if they're gay at all, maybe they're just, maybe they're just artistic. Maybe they don't read Superman.
And then that gay little boy, wouldn't he be more attracted to that G.I. Joe?
I mean, I was more attracted to Barbie.
Yeah.
I didn't want to play with her.
But I was attracted.
I didn't want to undress her.
Exactly.
Right?
Well, we all did.
We all did.
If you had sisters or cousins, we all did.
Yeah, and then if I didn't have a gun, I'd bend her over at the waist and use her as a gun. Pa, 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 pa,
yes.
If you're feeling a little artistic and want to play with glitter, why not? Dude, you just said that gay boys, like, that's offensive. Wow, and you're going to let him get away with this, California? Oh, my gosh, you come at Dave Chappelle for saying that there's gender is a fact, and you're going to let this California lawmaker get away with saying that gay boys want to play with glitter? Wow. Oh, man. So they're telling businesses how to sell their merchandise. So basically, again, why does this matter? Because this is government telling you how to parent. This is government telling you how to shop, how to engage in the free market. They're putting gender and sexuality into your capitalism. So they're making the way you parent be culturally dangerous. Because listen, when I was younger, my kids were younger. Any one of my three daughters we'd go into Walmart when they were little, and they would say, "We want to go to the pink aisle." They didn't say the girl aisle or whatever. We want to go to the pink aisle. Sometimes they'd say, we want to go to the Barbie aisle. Because that was what, it was dominated rather, by the pink boxes that the Barbies come in. If we're going to put a dude on the cover of Playboy, and we're going to make Superman gay, then why don't we stop making Barbie boxes pink? Doesn't that lead it? I mean, if you're going to say that gay boys want to play with glitter and are more artsy and more in tune with their feelings, right? Well, maybe it's offensive to say that girls just love pink. How dare we say that? But by and large. But let's get rid of those pink boxes. But see, this is a government, again, they want to tell you how to run your business. They want to tell you how to parent. They want to tell you that the societal norms are now changing and you have to abide by them. These are the kind of things that just little things, but they're not so little, are they? They're a whole lot bigger in this regard than the stuff that we want to give it credibility for. And see, you take these, again, I go back to the movie Ants. They haven't canceled yet, I don't think, where the grasshopper, he's like, these ants can never find out that they outnumber us. Well, it goes both ways, right? But it's also these little things, if you put them all together, become very dominating in your life, very tyrannical. Wow. Next thing you know, they won't give you a kidney when you need it. Anyway, oh boy, just wait and see, man. It is moving at breakneck speed, this stuff. Get on Twitter and talk about it. Talk about this. Talk about them getting rid of or making gender-neutral toy aisles. Do that on Twitter, as I was saying earlier, and watch the shit show unfold. Watch the vitriol that comes your way. How dare you? Why can't you be more understanding? Hey, you find yourself turning on the news and feeling hopeless? Yeah, of course you do. Open border spending gone crazy, the prospect of more mandates, lockdowns, inflation. List goes on and on and on. There is something you can do. Buy from companies that believe what you and I believe. We need to stick together, folks, now more than ever. There's been one company willing to make that stand with you since 2012, Patriot Mobile. America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. They offer broad nationwide coverage. They use the same towers as all the other major carriers. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, and their 100% U.S.-based customer support team provides exceptional customer support. More importantly, Patriot Mobile shares your values and supports organizations fighting for religious freedom, constitutional rights, sanctity of life, and our veterans and first responders. Go to patriotmobile.com/Chad or call them 972-PATRIOT. Get free activation with offer code CHAD. I spell it, Chad. Special discounts for veterans and first responders. Multi-line accounts can be done, and discounts with that as well. Support a company that loves America, loves and shares your values. PatriotMobile.com/Chad, 972-PATRIOT. Tell them promo code Chad. We'll be right back. And if you thought the policing of your parenting has gone far enough, it hasn't gone that far yet. Oh, folks, there's plenty more that the government, the school boards, and all these other folks out there, these powers that be, these little dictators, these tyrants to be, they have more things to say about your kids. Prestigious D.C. school, they've now drafted a policy to expel, not reprimand, not put in in-house suspension, not detention, not write 100 times on the board. No, expel students. Boy, that's called cancel culture right there. Expel students over, quote, misplaced humor. Wow. Among other harmful language. Folks, I wouldn't have made it through school.
That's why I pulled that story, because
I'd have been like, hey, kick me out.
You're the in-house comedian.
Yeah.
Chad, and from what I could tell, you do a lot of story time about your past and growing up. I don't think little Chad Prather would have been allowed at this school.
All right, when the executives send me a text message now, I'm 48 freaking years old. When I get text messages from the Blaze executives, I'm like, oh, crap, what'd I say? Like, what did I do? What did I say? Because I've been called on the carpet a few times. And I've been like, okay, well, you guys, you know me, right? You know me. Anyway, the news outlet reported Tuesday that the draft anti-bias policy was recently circulated within administrative ranks. It's an all-boys educational institution. I mean, of course, there's no locker room talking an all-boys school, right? The new policy, it's the impact. Here's what Free Beacon said. It's the impact of hate speech rather than the intent of those perpetrating it that is of utmost importance. Says, even in the case of a single expression, act, or gesture, including misplaced humor, should be reported immediately to the student's advisor. Reporting infractions would fall to students, teachers, parents. We also expect that anyone, whether student, faculty, staff, or family member, who witnesses or has knowledge of an incident of hate speech will report the incident to the appropriate individual. It's a good faith report. This reminds me of, what's the movie? Hooah! Al Pacino. Yeah. With, God, where the kids, he's like not willing to rat out his buddies. They're doing the pranks and stuff. And you remember that? You remember that show? Where he comes in, he's the blind guy. Oh, Scent of a Woman. Yeah. And this kind of reminds me of that, because all those little rich kids that are in there in this prestigious school, they can say any damn thing they want to say. Watch, Daddy the Senator is going to get them off the hook. Yeah, but it's going to be the other people who worked and clawed their way. They're going to be the ones. So he's going to target them. But that's a side note right there.
And by the way, I'm noticing a trend here, Chad, and maybe you could connect the dots on this one. I'm seeing a trend. We had Obama that said, you see something, you say something, right? Mm-hmm. Now we have the school saying, hey, report on each other. Then we have this NPR telling us to tattletale on each other. Yeah,
and they don't define, like, what is misplaced humor, right? Can I say, Mrs. Johnson has a giant butt? I mean, what do we say? Can we rap Eminem songs? Can we say lyrics to Jay-Z or Snoop Dogg? Can we say those things? Can we write those on our notebooks, or is that misplaced humor? Are we allowed to quote the words of people like Joe Biden? Can we say things like that? Things he said in the past? Who defines what misplaced humor is? And in this regard,
can we say pudding? That famous quote from, since we've been talking about him, like good pudding, a little bit of pudding. Can we do that?
Bill Cosby?
Yeah.
Don't talk about a Bill Cosby. You got to put the pill in the pudding. The pudding. So anyway, that's I would have been out of school. That's just the bottom line. But that's okay, man. The language police, they're out there. They make sure your kids, they don't want them to stay in school. No, if they tell a joke out of turn, a little slip of the lip, get you hung by the tongue, and guess what? Get you kicked out in the streets where you can go make a living selling drugs. And you can tell all the damn jokes you want. How about that? TikTok me, Chris.
Can we talk about how horrible it is to travel while being transgender sometimes? I always have immense anxiety leading up to going through security. And this being said, I totally recognize the privilege of having all of my documents correct. So the gender marker on my license, for example, says female. But going through the scanner, there's a male scanner and a female scanner in the TSA checkpoint. And looking at me, I look like a woman, and I am a woman, so that's great. I love having cis-assuming privilege when I feel unsafe, such as in an airport. But going through the scanner, I always have an anomaly between my legs that sets off the alarm. And so she asked me if I had anything in my pants, and I told her no. And she's like, well, maybe it's just like the metal on your shorts, so let's scan you again. So I did, and then it set it off again. And I was like, look, I'm trans, just pat me down. And her solution was, do you want to be scanned as a man instead? I didn't, but I ended up doing it. And then my boobs set off the scanner because, of course. So I tried to make a joke of it. I was like, oh yeah, there's a lot of plastic in there. It's fine. So then she was like, okay, well, we have to pat you down. And she was like, do you want a man to do it? I said, no, absolutely not.
I'm sure the man was thankful too. I was a little taken aback there when she pulled her mask off. I was like, okay, hey, it's a good-looking woman. Then, hi, I don't want anybody to think that I'm a man when I go through TSA. It's funny how it just suddenly gave itself away. Okay, well, see, biologically, you do have something in your pants. Just because, well, she just said she did. She got something in her pants. I don't know, maybe you're carrying a weapon. What are you working with down there? I mean, John Holmes, the late porn star, he was accused of bludgeoning someone to death in the Hollywood Hills, and they never could find the murder weapon. Maybe you're rocking it like that, Dirk Diggler. I don't know what kind of tree trunk you're working with. But hey, there is something in your pants. And you put the TSA, which again, not a huge fan of, but you put the TSA in an awkward position because you are more bionic silicone fakeness than you are a human being at this point. So we don't know what's behind the zipper number 1, and we don't know what's behind door number 1 or door number 2. Apparently, according to you, a whole lot of plastic. So when you're putting yourself together there, Mrs. Potato Head, maybe consider that you're about to walk through an X-ray scanner where the rest of us concerned citizens want to make sure that you're not toting anything, dangerous onto an airplane. Who knows? Maybe you're a suicide bomber and you got exploding titties or something. But we just want to make sure. So don't get offended. Don't get offended. They politely ask you, do you want a man to fill you up? You said, oh, God, no. No, I'd rather have a woman come and fill my junk because guess what I'm toting down there is a 12-inch log. If this is how you get felt up in public, I'm going to put on a wig and shave my face and go to the airport and be like, no, I definitely want a woman. I got a nickel in my pocket. That ain't no roll of quarters, baby. We've lived in this cushy-ass society of America where we're spoiled rotten. We've never had anything oppress us, persecute us, or cause us pain. We're trying to identify ourselves with created oppression so that we can maintain our sense of victimhood. And we've always got that one story. Oh my God, you would not believe what I had to deal with at the airport today. Ask me, do I want a man to give me a pat down? Can you believe them? Well, maybe when you came out talking like the brawny man on the commercial, somebody assumed there at the Sonic drive-thru or wherever you might have been that you're a dude. You're a freaking dude. Do we want to set the scanner for male? No, because I got titties. Well, you got a whole lot of Botox, too. You are combustionable. We'll be right back. Hey, go to chadprather.com. Yeah, I just threw a curveball. You're used to hearing watchchad.com. That's where all the fun stuff is. Chad Prather goes to the same place. Get a copy of the book, Am I Crazy? Get a couple of copies of the book. Help me out, okay? Let's get on that list. And listen, go to chadonblaze.com if you want to get the FBJ shirts. And ER Wit. All day, every day, 5 stars. Huge supporter here. Informative and laughs with every show. Keep it up. Keep up the fight. I never know if that's what they say. That is what they said. Okay. Or if that's your transcription, your Puerto Rican transcription. Thank you very much for leaving us a 5-star rating. That's what we deserve, and it's all we'll accept. Go to where they're offered, podcasts are offered, specifically Apple Podcasts. Leave us a rating and review. I don't even know where we are in the rankings anymore. I'm done caring. Like, I appreciate you guys. I really do. The folks that tune in every day. I come on there every night, and even if I don't chime in, I'm watching the live chat, and I appreciate the interaction that's there. And I would love it if we could get these numbers up and just get more and more. But let's face it, censorship is real. A lot of times people don't have the time to sit down and listen or watch the show. But those of you who do, thank you for doing it, because we have a lot of fun with you. We have a lot of fun in life because of you guys. You enable us to do it. So on behalf of Mark and Chris and everybody else here, Party Foul Steve, who, everybody's wondering where Steve is. We fired him. He's in a box. He's somewhere buried out back at a national park. Anyway, we'll see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. Love you. God bless you. Talk to you then. Bye.